When you speak to teachers, music has the highest failure rate of any taught subject. Most students who have piano lessons actually don't learn how to play. And there's something really bizarre about that. In some respects, it's a little bit like if we were to go out to dinner, pay for the meal, order our meal, but the meal never comes. The next day we go and order our meal, pay for the meal, and the meal never comes. And the next day we go and pay for our meal and order the meal, and the meal never comes. And we do that day after day, week after week. It sounds preposterous even when we suggest that. And yet, in many respects, that's what happens in a traditional learning environment. Students struggle with the process. They struggle to learn. They're not producing great results. Parents are often having to struggle with the children to get them to practice. Teachers themselves aren't really seeing much progress. Nobody's really winning for the most part in that environment. Well, I think there's another approach. In contrast, Simply Music is a playing-based method. So we temporarily delay the tools of music reading and math. We say, first of all, let's build a foundation of playing. Very, very similar to language. So if we look and say, well, what is the model? What's the way that you and I acquired language? Well, we hear our parents talking and we babble. And the babble becomes words, and then the words become sentences, and then we're 4 or 5 years of age and we're speaking fully, having never had a spelling lesson. We learn to read and spell years after we've learned how to speak. Well, if we were to apply that model to music education, it would transform the cultural experience. And in many respects, that's really a close analogy to what we're doing with the Simply Music program. We want to first of all build an experience of playing before we introduce the reading and spelling.